All right, so let's move now down toward the thoracic cavity here. They start out again with the trachea, so you got that already. They next mention the pleural cavities, and this goes back to something that you heard about in A&P1, the pleura. They're the serous membranes that will surround the lung. So this is one lung over here. It doesn't have the same number of lobes, so don't try to do any lobe type stuff on the cat. But this would be its right lung, and on the opposite side over here, that would be its left lung, kind of hanging out over there. All right, right and left lung. But the reason I brought up the pleura is because you have to remember how serous membranes are set up. There's a layer that's seen on the surface of the organ itself, which is the visceral layer. Then there's a layer that lines the wall of the cavity, the parietal layer. In between the two, which is literally this space that would be in between them, that's the pleural cavity. See how it works? It goes back to the setup that you've seen from your time in A&P1. Visceral layer on the organ, parietal layer on the wall of the cavity. In between the two, so literally the space, that would be a pleural cavity. All right? Again, we've got the lungs on either side, which I already showed you. The thymus sits on top of the heart. So here's the heart covered by some of its serous membrane, the pericardium. But watch, I'm going to lift up very gently, kind of dissect away. You see what's sitting right there, right on top of it? Right there above my pointer, or not my pointer, my probe. That is the thymus. Same location. You remember your thymus from your endocrine system, the model, set right on top of the heart. This is right on top of the heart. That's the thymus. Mediastinum is a space between the two lungs, so I'm hoping y'all remember that from A&P1, but it would be in the middle, so I'm not gonna try and pull that lung over, but hopefully you understand that concept. Parietal pericardium, so here we go again, another serous membrane. Parietal pericardium lines the mediastinum, so watch this. I've already cut this away. Hey, yep, there we go. See this layer right here that I'm lifting up? That's the parietal pericardium, okay? Now for me, I do usually dissect this a little bit more, but I'm not gonna do it because this is probably somebody else's dissection. I don't wanna, intrude on their work. But I'm lifting the parietal pericardium. Again, the serous pericardium would be on the surface of the heart. The space where my probe is right now, that is the pericardial cavity, literally that space. It's between the two layers, all right? So again, we're referring back to that concept from A&P1. So that's the pericardial cavity. You have the heart, which you can see, actually been kind of cut open here, so it's got some blood inside of it, but this is the heart here. See the wall of the heart? The blood that I'm pulling out, that just was left. Oh my gosh.
Why is it so big?
It's clotted.
Clotted?
Yeah, it's clotted
So
blood.
the immune system's rocking.
So you got the heart here within that pericardial cavity. And then lastly, you have this dome-like muscle. That's the diaphragm right there, separating thoracic above from abdominal cavity below. All right, y'all can stop again because that's the end of that